Welcome back to another episode of Travel-Preneur, where we delve into the innovation shaping the future of the travel industry. I'm your host, Mega McSwain. Today, we're exploring the world of city exploration games with a very special guest, Alex Govoreanu. Did I say that correctly? Close
Absolutely.
enough? Close enough. CEO and co-founder of Questo, a platform that transforms city exploration into an immersive adventure. Welcome to the show, Alex.
Thanks for having me.
Alex, can you tell us about the inception of Questo and what inspired you to blend exploration with puzzle solving and role playing in your game?
Sure. Well, I think there's many answers to this question. To sum them all up into one, I would say that I was always passionate about exploration out of cities specifically, but of the world in its entirety. I mean, my favorite book still remains the Atlas. But then in this context, if you want, I was traveling across Rome a couple of years ago, and after 4 days of going to all the most popular places in Rome, I just felt like I'm not doing anything other than following other people across the city. And for me, that was my first holiday where I went on my own with my own money and such, and I imagined it to be totally different, and it wasn't. It wasn't how I imagined it to be. And when I came back home, I started discussing with my co-founder, and we both realized that travel for at least a significant part of the population is not that. It's not traveling while following others. It's not going in big groups. It's the need of going and discovering things by yourself and doing that on your own. So in this context, we thought about, okay, how is this going to look like in terms of a product or a service? We thought about gamification because we wanted to build something that also can become a habit. We didn't want to build a one-off type of experience, and that's it. We wanted to build something scalable that can be replicated globally and played not only when you travel, but every time when you go out.
And with Questo games available in over 500 cities, how do you ensure that each game is unique and offers an authentic experience to its players?
Every game is unique by default because behind every game there's some variables that are unique, like the creator. Every game has its own creator who has its own, expertise, talents, stories to share, places that they know. And then when they start building the game, that game is set up in a city, which is unique in itself. And that city is unique through its places, through its areas, and so on. So it's very hard to have duplicates in our ecosystem. When it comes, however, to the quality, what we do then is everyone is free to build in our ecosystem. We have now more than 5,000 active creators who are building their games and maintaining them as such. Now, all of these creators, once they finalize another project, another game, they have to submit it for review, and our team then goes out and checks the game. And if it checks our conditions, then we allow that game to be available in the app under a testing label. So while in this status, players are not asked to pay anything. They can just play and test because in many ways they are also helping the platform grow. And only after the game has been thoroughly tested by a significant number of users, only then it becomes a product that's sellable and people can actually buy it and creators can make money out of it.
Can you share a story of how Questo has changed the way people experience cities? Maybe a memorable feedback or something that you've received from a user?
I think I have thousands to share, but
Yeah.
I will share the most recent one that gave me goosebumps. And I think it was also the most emotional one. I was at the restaurant and having dinner with my family when a lady stopped me, came by our table, and she was like, "I want to shake your hand." And I knew the person. I knew her from all the magazines. We are based in Romania, and she's basically everywhere on TV, on the magazine. She's one of the most powerful women in the country.
Wow.
She's the major CEO of a top company here. And she wanted to shake my hand, and she knew me from also some media appearances here, because she said that while playing Questo in London with her nieces was the first time when she was able to connect with her nieces, and that she's living far from them, but through Questo they were able to do something together. And really, she said, I got to know them. So yeah,
That's really nice.
extraordinary. Yeah.
Yeah. And such a simple idea, but that's huge, really, to connect like that. Transitioning such a novel concept into a successful business must have come with its challenges. What were some significant hurdles that you faced while establishing Questo? This episode is brought to you by Travel-Payments.com. Travel businesses have unique needs when it comes to credit card processing, from large average ticket sizes and tolerance for higher chargeback ratios to simple integrations with the most popular shopping cart systems. The travel industry specialists at Travel-Payments.com have you covered. Unfortunately, many of the most popular credit card processors initially accept travel businesses, but without warning, freeze their merchant accounts and the thousands of dollars in them because these service providers don't understand or support the unique needs of travel industry business. Don't get stuck with one of the big guys who will freeze you out without a moment's notice. Instead, work with a travel industry specialist who will support your business every step of the way. Visit Travel-Payments.com to get a free quote today.
Here we can talk for days and weeks.
There's always a bunch of challenges, aren't there?
Past, present, and future. Yeah. It's a bunch. Look, I think they are all different categories. One, there are like the product in itself challenges, where you have to make sure that what you are building actually makes sense. How can you make sure you are building such a thing? Just go out and talk to your users. And what I think here is the main, if you want, trap that companies go into is forgetting this. So they might have some early signs of success and then forgetting about constantly reassessing what they are and discussing with their customers. No, you can't stop that. You always have to be in touch with whomever is your audience, always. Sure. Yeah. So that's a challenge from the product perspective. If you want, second, on the business side, if you're building something as novel as we do, then you'll have to deal with a lot of negativity, a lot of people that do not believe that what you are doing actually makes any sense. Basically, from day one, nobody believed in us. Nobody believed that there's going to be such a platform helping people go out. Nobody thought it can be transformed into a business. And with every such discussion that we had, we got some extra motivation, I guess, to just pursue and build it. So yeah, look, I will just resume to these two. Discuss with your audience and understand what the hell you're building. And second, if you know that what you're doing is going to be big, just do it regardless of what others people are saying.
Right. Keep the horse blinders on and keep pushing forward.
If you believe in it, yeah.
Right. How do you see the role of technology evolving in the travel and tourism industry, especially considering the current trends towards digital experiences?
It's inevitable. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You gotta do it. Whatever you do in the travel space, you gotta do it. Because it's not an enemy. It's not hard. It's not. I've seen a lot of words used in the context of technology in the travel space that are not really true in my perspective. So what I think technology is just something that we can use to improve what the hell we are building and accelerate what we do and how we grow and such. So that's why I say it's inevitable. If you don't do it,
right?
Yeah, you will be
behind.
insignificant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
you will just not be anymore if you
Right.
don't do it.
Right. Questo caters to various groups like tourists, couples, families, like you mentioned, aunt and nieces, and
Mhm.
relatives, corporate teams. How do you tailor experiences to meet such diverse needs and expectations?
Um, this is an answer that we we started thinking about, I would say, more recently. In the early days, we had all the data. We could have come up with this answer much, much earlier, but we were blindsided by different other things. What I can tell you now is that every Questo customer is a human being, and that's the base, that's the foundation. So regardless if they are a couple, family, a group of friends, regardless if they are playing in their city or when they travel, they are all humans. And what we realize we offer in Questo is we help humans connect in the real world. And once you see your product, your experiences in this context, things get very, very clear and simple. So for many years, we had this debate in the team that you have people that travel, they discover Questo, and then you have people that play in their own city and they are different and you have to build different content. But that's false, because you can discover Questo when you travel, but it's the same you that you will play another game when you are in your hometown. So what I need then to do is not think about how the game should be different because of the context, is I should think about what you love. That's it. And what you love is more universal. And then it became simple for us to understand exactly what are our battles in terms of content generation, how the game should look like, etc., etc. So I would narrow it down to this relationship, humans and what they love. Once you understand this, then I think it's simple.
And looking ahead, what's next for Questo? Are there new features or expansions in the pipeline that you can share?
Um, yeah, what we aim now to do is get better at helping people connect in the real world. This is what we aim to do. So for us, travel is a very big part of what we do, but it's not the only Travel is one context in which people go out and explore. The other context is when they are in their own city. How we see the world in our industry is people, they go out for different reasons, and we want to be there for them whenever they travel, whenever they want to go on a fun date, whenever they want to spend some fun time with their kids, whenever you want to go out with your friends. So in this scheme of things, what we want is to have enough experiences that cater to these needs and that are amazing, because we want people to actually see us as the habit that I was telling you at the beginning of this call. We don't want to be just one thing that you might do once a year. We want Questo to be a verb in the dictionary. And it's that thing that you do whenever you go out with your friends, family, whoever.
And as an entrepreneur who has successfully capitalized on the intersection of travel, gaming, and technology, what advice would you give to someone looking to enter the travel tech industry?
So specifically for travel tech.
Or, you can be more broad if you have a piece of advice that you think would be helpful.
What comes into my mind? Well, specifically when it comes to travel, I would say it's very important to understand why people travel and what they want to do when they travel. So do that first, discuss with a lot of customers and understand not just them, but understand their playgrounds, understand the cities, understand what they want. There's, for instance, something very important that we learned early on about the needs of our customers when it comes to the Questo games, being they first wanted to go and see the route as the main benefit. That's what they first wanted. Second, they wanted the stories about the route, and third, the gamification. So with that in mind, it was very simple for us then to focus the most of our resources on just building the right routes. So that would be one. If you do it in travel, understand again your customers and audience, because travel is it's an industry very, very connected to emotions. It's not, we're not building here a fintech, SaaS product, blah, blah. No. It's emotions. If you're playing with people's willingness to spend fun time with themselves. So that's very important. Then overall, as an entrepreneur, I would say the team is very important, and that's what you should put a lot of effort into. Finding the right people to build with, it's orders of magnitude more important than pretty much everything. Very, very few things can even compete with how important your team is going to be.
Good advice. How do you envision the future of urban exploration, and what role do you think Questo will have in this evolving landscape?
The future of urban exploration. For me, it's synonymous with Questo. So
Great.
I can tell you our future. What we believe is that we will have millions of people on a daily, weekly basis going out in our platform and spending fun time in the real world. We have this quote in the company that was borrowed from Ready Player One, the book. There's a saying there that says in something like the only thing real that's left is the real world. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
And this is somehow how we see the future. We see all these advancements. We are not afraid by them. We embrace them. We use a lot of AI in whatever we do, and not only. And what we want to do then is, in this increasingly virtual and digital world, we want to help people spend time also in the only thing that's real, which is the real world, because the virtual thing is going to just grow.
Yeah.
But being in the real world with your friends, with your family, walking, looking at things,
looking away from your phone.
Yeah, that's something that I think will be a massive opportunity, and we are there for that.
Good. That's excellent. Well, Alex, thank you so much for sharing all of this. It's super interesting, and learning about the exciting journey of Questo. Thanks for joining us, and let our listeners know where they can learn more about you and where they can research more about Questo.
The easiest answer here is questoapp.com. That's our website. And if anyone has any questions, inquiries whatsoever, they can just contact us at explore@questoapp.com.
Wonderful. Thank you. To our listeners, remember to check out Questo for your next city adventure and discover the hidden gems around you. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to Travel-Preneur for more insights from leaders in the travel industry. Leave us a review and share your thoughts on today's episode. Thank you, Alex, and thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you, Jared.